chance to, but hopefully some of you guys had a chance to play with one of our 3 prototypes, and maybe in the tail end we might have an opportunity to play test them some more. And also thank you for participating in our little activity. We had asked you all to sign in and indicate what expertise area you would qualify yourself in, and as you can see, we have quite a mixture of technologists, teachers, researchers, and other. And I think that's representative of what EDesign Lab is. So for this next bit, we're going to shift gears a little. And what's going to happen is we're going to share in some deeper detail each of the prototypes we've been building this first design cycle. And the format's going to be, each team is going to come up, they're going to talk for about 20-25 minutes about their prototype, and then there'll be about 5 to 10 minutes for more specific Q&A, and at the very end we've built in some time for more general Q&A. You are definitely seeing works in progress and also us in kind of a rehearsal mode. This is meant to be conversational, and mostly it's an opportunity for us to share and provide you a window into the really dynamic conversations that we have been having, which is hard to share. It's easy to share our prototypes. So before our labbers start, I'm just going to steal 5 more minutes and back up a little bit and talk about EDesign Lab. So basically, we're still newborn. Our pilot year was last year, and essentially it's a group of practicing teachers and practicing technologists that are coming together to collaborate as designers. And yes, practicing means that everybody's working full-time jobs, and we're basically meeting only 3 times each month. And on our About section of our website, you can see some of our hunches, such as why we think that bringing teachers who are thinking very deeply about learning interactions together with technologists who are thinking very deeply about digital interactions might help create and imaginations for new types of things that they wouldn't imagine on their own, and also hunches about how focusing primarily and first and foremost on the learner experience and on learner needs first might produce more compelling learning technologies. But the hunch that I want to underscore today is EDesign Lab is also about growing a culture, and how there needs to be collaborative communities, and how we can start to create mechanisms and processes and ways for us to work together collaboratively and constructively. So I'm sharing this image that we were passing around internally. Made a high-fidelity, functioning prototype in 15 weeks and learner tested twice. And that is also just to say to all the labbers that I am so proud of all of you guys. We have gone so far. It's literally just been since the first weekend of October that we were at Imagination Camp, where people were still wearing name tags, where we were just playing brainstorming games like pick 2 words and in 5 seconds make a .com, and starting to develop a common vocabulary of ideas and of practices, and even from the very beginning starting to incorporate youth voice, as you can see on the far right-hand side, where students that we actually invited in to share the ideas we had created just during that weekend. And since that first weekend of October, we moved in less than 3 months from pretty much a blank slate and through some facilitation into beginning to concept different kinds of learning experiences. So I know this is quite small, but this was something called Thesis Guide, something called Field Trip Coordinator, something called History versus Today, and these are walkthroughs, conceptual walkthroughs. And actually, as I was leafing through some of our documentation from the past, it was kind of interesting to see what pieces and elements from our ideas from the beginning percolated down to some of the prototypes that we'll be talking through more today. And then we went from quickly taking the 40-plus concepts, similar to what you saw in the concept walkthroughs, analyzing them, and then quickly distilling them down into what are the 3 that we can prioritize and really fleshing out into something more. And so the next step was kind of moving on to paper prototyping and digital prototyping. And as I mentioned before, it's really easy, not really easy, but it's more easy to share our prototypes than it is to actually give you guys a window into our community and into our process, which is kind of make, peer test, reflect, iterate, field test again, reflect, iterate, and repeat. So I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to just pop out really quickly and give you guys a rare window into what we usually keep a little bit protected from the outside world, which is our internal workspace. And I'm just going to flash through this really quickly, but this is kind of where we document. As you can see, there's a ton of stuff on here. But mostly I just wanted to flash really quickly down. I don't know how many of you guys tried Linky over there, but the really quick evolution in a month and a half, basically, of Linky from the first version of the paper prototype to us trying it out together, to next version, and trying it out again, and trying it out again, and changing it, and trying it out again, and trying it out again, to what you see over there. Similarly, you can see that for Overpass. Again, kind of this movement we had from what we first thought it was. And in the beginning, before we even put anything down and start coding, we're paper prototyping so that we can quickly try out that experience and see what is working. And I'll literally just give you like a 45-second taste so you can see what it's like when we play computer. Oh, I realized we don't have a speaker. I'm saying maybe you need to read a little bit more. And he's saying something like, oh, there's 4 characters. And they say, boop. All right, maybe I'm going to stop because you can't actually hear this. But essentially, this practice of constantly putting detail and texture about what that learning interaction looks like, trying it out with each other and trying it with kids and just trying it again. And sometimes, I'll just share the final page for Curious. Hopefully what happens is the ideas that we start with, this was Curious concepting in the beginning, ends up looking quite dramatically different from where we end out. There was a not so Angry Birds direction that it started taking in the beginning. So I'm just going to pop back into this. So basically that's kind of a little window and a little taste, which hopefully you also got a flavor, you will get a flavor of as the team start to describe their process and share a little bit more about their project, that we do internally simultaneous to, as soon as possible, trying to get our ideas and as a learning interaction and as a learning experience, not just as a tool, in front of kids. And we always find that there were surprises that we didn't think would happen or we didn't expect the kids would do, and or assumptions in which we falsely made, but also opportunities in which we could quickly redirect and shift and add things and change things to the things that we were coding. So, and there were times when we went out. This was actually a field trip to the National History Museum. So what happens at the intersection of EDesign Lab, where these teachers are meeting technologists? For this first design cycle, we've generated Linky, which is basically an app that's mobile-based or desktop, where kids can collect data in their everyday lives and connect it to lessons by looking for patterns and generating themes. Curious, which is thinking through how to, it's a web-based application which helps kids think through questions by parsing through large open data sets, which is also quite relevant to lots of other broader conversation that's happening. And finally, Overpass, which is a web-based game that takes constructing and needing to cross a metaphorical argument bridge. So with that said, I'm going to quickly just let the team speak for themselves. So first up, I think, is